Hey there! Welcome back to No Pants Profits. My name's Richard. I'm here with Kirsten, and we are getting off of a cruise right now. And Kirsten, there's been something you've seen on the Facebook groups and stuff that people have really been asking. They ask a question, and they ask another question. What's the question they ask? How you get to the airport?
So many, yes.
And
what to do if
you got like a flight at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So you know what we're going to do today? We're going to show you how to do that. But we're going to show you how to do that on the cheap. Right? I don't know exactly what we're going to do. We do need to make it to the airport because Kirsten's not flying, but she's picking up a rental car there. And we're going to go to a museum. We're going to get some pizza. And we're not going to spend a whole bunch of money to get to the airport because, believe it or not, hold on, guys. We're going to take this thing that's really bad in America. What's it called?
Transportation?
Public transit. We're going to take one short Uber ride from here to another place, but once we get to the other place, we're taking public transit for the rest of the day. A little scary. Kirsten did it to get here, but she didn't document the horrors. It's not that bad. So join along as we see what to do between when you get off your cruise and you got a late afternoon flight or even a tomorrow flight, who knows, here on No Pants Profits. So they try and make it as hard as possible for you to think that you can get an Uber here. There's even people that say, Uber doesn't work. Well, we're back in Miami, if you didn't know. Driving's fun in Miami, but just walk out of the terminal, request your Uber. We're taking Uber over to Frost Science. It's about a $5 to $7 Uber, depending on surge. And that's where we're going to start our day, is over at the Frost Science Museum. Now, Kirsten, you like science museums? So we're going to go over to Frost Science. The cool thing is, this is very important, Frost Science will let you check all of your suitcases for the day. So when you go to the entrance, and it's free. It costs you absolutely nothing. So not only can you go to Frost Science and check all your suitcases, but you can leave your suitcases there till Frost Science closes. If you go to the airport, you know you got to pay to check the suitcases and stuff like that. So just go to the Science Museum. We'll talk about the pricing when we get there. I'm a member, so it costs me nothing. But just go to the Science Museum, and then you can spend all day in downtown Miami, not have to worry about parking or anything. And we're going to show you how to take public transit around downtown Miami for free and to get to the airport for just $2.50 from downtown Miami. Right now, we are transiting through the tunnel. This is a way in and out of the port, and it's kind of the less traffic way to do things. You can either take the bridge or the tunnel. From a mileage perspective, the bridge is actually closer to Frost, but I understand why the tunnel's taken because there's a lot more traffic on the bridge. We will see you over at one of the newest science centers in America, the Philip and Patricia Frost Science Museum. See you there. So we were in that Uber ride, and we made it from the Uber over to Frost Science. I am actually a member of Frost Science. If you do live in the South Florida area, I do highly recommend you become a member, especially if you cruise often. Let's talk why. For the price that it would cost to get 3 people into this museum for the day, for about $20 more, you can have a full year membership for 2 people with a membership card, plus each membership card can bring a guest. So literally for the price it costs to get in, just become a member. Then you get discounts on food and drinks and different things like that. They have a traveling exhibit here as of August 2023. It is about mummies, and I'll tell you, due to the fact it's about mummies, they keep it super cold in there, and that's what I need. You need super cold now too, right, Kirsten? So, I'm sorry, I've been commanding this video so far. Would you like to say anything?
I am super excited to see what the Frost Museum has in store for us, and I'm probably most excited about the mummies, and we also have that planetarium.
Yeah, so we got a planetarium show. The planetarium itself is not just a planetarium, it's actually like a giant, like 3 times the size of an IMAX screen. But I did want to talk about one more thing before we go into the museum. We're going to take you along to the museum. Unfortunately, due to the nature of the mummies and being dead bodies and remains, plus they keep it really dark and really cold in there, we're not going to be able to show you the mummy exhibit, but everything else at the museum, other than the mummy exhibit, and I'll show you the planetarium before the movie starts, but I can't show you the actual movie for copyright reasons, is free game. But if you do become a member, I'm just trying to block off enough, there's this little thing called ASTC. You know what that is, Kirsten?
Is that what?
It stands for American Science and Technology Center.
Yeah.
And most museums in the United States are members of the ASTC. And if you're a member of one AST museum, you can visit every other one that's 100 miles or more from the museum that you're a member of. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So like you live up on the West Coast, you have MOSI, the Museum of Science and Industry in Tampa. if you were a member of Mosey, then you could come over to this museum for free. Since I'm a member of this museum, then I can go over to Mosey for free. And both of us, maybe, I'm doing the math for Kirsten's side, but I think both of us can actually go to the Orlando Science Center because if you were a member of Mosey, I was a member of this, we could all go to the Orlando Science Center. But that is the ASTC passport and how we get in. I think I paid like $160 the first time for me and a friend to have access to this membership, and they will, I don't know if we talked about this so far, they will hold our bags for free until the museum closes. So that's beneficial because we're going to take the Metro Mover, because Kirsten's never been on the Metro Mover before. We don't need to worry about an Uber for the whole rest of the day. We can get all the way to the airport from the museum. And I know you guys are looking at me if you don't know the downtown Miami area and you're going, how do we do that? Even Kirsten's looking at me going, how do we do that? Well, guess what? Stay tuned. So we have come to our first exhibition here, and it's the big exhibition. This is on mummies. This is only here for a limited time, so you may not see this, but there's been a lot of other cool things here. I will tell you, I've seen the mummies exhibition. I went to Egypt. I saw 4 mummies in Egypt. I did see like the mummy. I saw King Tut in his tomb. They have not removed him from his tomb. And I saw like 2 other mummies in the museum. Oh, here. It's only here through September 4th, so that's like not very long. So you might not be able to see the mummy exhibit, but this is a traveling exhibit area. Unfortunately, due to the nature that there's dead bodies and stuff like that, I can't take you into the mummies, but if I can find some stills, Kirsten had to sneeze. If I can find some stills, I will insert them right after this. All right, so you saw those photos of the mummies. They actually let me take a couple photos inside. Didn't want to take any videos or anything like that, but we are now in some really weird lighting environment. The mummies, it had very good what?
Air conditioning.
And the theater here has pretty good
Air conditioning.
And after just lugging our bags into the museum and stuff, what do we need?
Air conditioning.
Yeah, we're much better now that we're inside cats and we're nice and air conditioned. But this is a little bit bigger than the IMAX on the ship. Hold on, I hit the wrong button. There we go. It's a little bit bigger than the IMAX on the ship. The IMAX on the ship is pretty impressive, but this is about 6 or 7 times the size. Now, what's important, we didn't talk about, like, let's say you don't want to become a member. It's like $30 a person and like $20 a kid, person being adult, and like $20 a kid to get into the museum. And that also includes one of the planetarium shows, which these newfangled planetariums, this thing was only built a couple years back. These newfangled planetariums are not really even planetariums anymore. They're just circular IMAX screens that they call planetariums. In my opinion, Kirsten, I don't know how you believe. For me, a planetarium is like, you remember the thing where like the big star projector would come out and stuff like that? Do you really consider this a planetarium? Or it's just a whole bunch of projectors circle?
It's more like a spherical IMAX.
Yeah, I mean, they call it a planetarium, but any of these new modern ones, they feel much more like a spherical IMAX. Look, I can go whoop. I mean, you can see all the way up and then down. They're much more like a spherical IMAX than they are a planetarium. I think Mosey actually had the first one of these in the world. Have you been to Mosey before?
Oh yeah.
And what's unique about Mosey's, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mosey is in Tampa. It's the Museum of Science and Industry. I think theirs is still film, correct?
Yes.
They have like a big projector that comes down, and it's still film, unlike all the rest of these nowadays.
And they have Recyclosaurus.
Leave a comment below if you'd like me to go see Recyclosaurus, as you learned in 2 clips ago. I could do that for free with my ASTC passport.
And I saw Avatar in their IMAX there at Mosey.
They have sex with their tails, right? Isn't that
Something like that.
they have sex with their tails. So we're going to watch, what are we watching? The Planet Earth one, because they had either Earth or space, and Kirsten's like, I'm never going to space because Elon's not going to choose me, and I don't want to pay Richard Branson. And Jeff Bezos just has penis envy of those two guys, and that's why he's building large rockets that look like penises. Sorry. But she said, I might go to some of these places on Earth, so, right?
Yeah, so let's learn more about Earth.
Let's learn more about Earth. So it is super duper bright out here. We just left the Earth thing. Kirsten said she learned something in the planetarium show. What'd you learn?
That I'm not going to live at the bottom of the ocean.
Kirsten or visit the bottom of the ocean. Right now, I've heard there's a lot of pressure for people to go down there. Ooh, bad joke. This is actually, hey balls, would you like to see the top of my balls? No. That's the top of the planetarium there. And we are starting our museum tour on, where?
The roof.
The roof. The roof is on fire. We don't need no water. Let it burn. Oh wait, this is not the Carnival Freedom. Okay. Kirsten doesn't really get that joke. I was on the ship. Kirsten, I was on the ship a week before it lit on fire. But you know, the cool thing is, why do I like to go up to the roof? Because it gives you kind of a interesting perspective as to where the hell we are. What do I mean by it gives you an interesting perspective as to where we are? Well, we got off a cruise ship this morning, and we took like a 6-minute Uber ride over here, right, Kirsten? And no one comes up here, but it has the best view of what? Of the cruise ships. Look, you can see the Carnival Horizon over there. You can see the Carnival Celebration. You can see the Virgin Voyages Scarlet Lady. Yeah, that's Scarlet Lady. Yeah, so there's a Horizon, Carnival Horizon, Carnival Celebration, Virgin Voyages Scarlet Lady, and MSC Seascape. You know what's amazing, Kirsten?
What?
Those are 4 ships I have reviews of on my channel. Who would have thunk it? Cool. That I've been on all 4 of those in like less than the last year. But this is the top, and here's what's really cool. You know this? I love solar energy. If you've watched any of my videos on solar energy, Kirsten's gonna get to see in person my solar powered truck. It's actually really cool. Not only people get to see it in person, but you notice that sign? It's really cool. The coolest thing about that sign?
It's a shadow.
You can only read it. It says, I put my money on the sun and solar energy. What a source of power. Thomas Edison, and it's actually done with the sun. But they actually have an entire solar field up here that partially powers the museum. Now, I am an expert of sorts on solar. I have a solar facility that's about a third of this size, but I'm somewhat of a solar nerd, solar geek, and yeah, well, you can see what solar, oh, okay, that's cool. They have the wind turbine up here, and they got all the solar panels here, and you can kind of see how solar energy works. There's all kinds of exhibits. That's the last thing in the world I need, because I have a solar energy exhibit on my own at home. But this is actually the 5th floor, the top floor of the museum, and guess what? No one ever comes up here. I don't know why. They don't want to learn about rotate and tilt the solar panel, make it spin gears. Oh, okay. So this is oh, that's cool. Does it work? I don't think it works. Because I mean, obviously we're getting solar power right now. The gears should be spinning. I don't know, but the 5th floor, it's called the Solar Terrace up here. Let's take a look at the other side. I don't know there's much, but yeah, what's really cool is this museum exists literally directly in between where the cruise ship ports are and where downtown Miami. Oh, this looks like fun. Oh, Kirsten, I'm gonna hand you the camera. For those of you that have not seen it yet, there was this whole series called Richard Exercises that happened on our ship tour. Remember that one, Kirsten? That didn't turn out too well, did it? But what you got is you can either have halogen. So look, we can turn on the light bulb. Oh, we got to turn on. So we have solar power. So we can turn on light bulbs, maybe? Where's the halogen lights? Maybe. Maybe not. The fan is, oh, there we go. See the lights up there? I plug it in. Lights go on. Lights go off. This seems to be using solar. Oh, the solar's on. Okay, I see what's going on here now. Then we got the fan, which was already on. Maybe because it's breezy up here. We got the LEDs. See the LEDs? Maybe. 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 I made it reverse. LEDs. And then we got the radio, which video killed the radio star. Or we've got this, which I guess is a crank.
Yeah, and your lights are coming on now.
Oh, they are? Oh, yeah. Look at that. Wait, maybe the fan will work with the crank? But that's not why we're really here. We're here to see a fat guy do exercise. So I'm going to turn off the solar power, and you see the halogen lights. I'm not working for halogen lights. Forget that. Let's turn on these lights. But you see, if I turn on the solar, see the halogen lights up there, everyone? And turn off the solar. Come that way, Kirsten. The fat guy. Oh God. He's gonna ride a bicycle. Hey, look at the lights. You see them? Point to the lights. I know I have to lose weight. My mom says I have to lose weight. But guess what? I made the bikes turn on and the lights light up here on the 5th floor. Again, intrinsically, I still intrinsically want to call this the 5th deck, but we're not on a cruise ship no more, so can't really call it the 5th deck. So we're gonna go down 1 floor, and we'll check out, well, that was the 6th floor. We'll go down 1 floor and check out the 5th floor. So even though I am a member of Frost Science, there's actually something on this floor. Well, I've never seen anything on the 5th floor. I usually start my tour on the 6th and go to the 4th floor. This is the Marine Conservation Wet Lab. Let's, kind of looks like the Living Seas at Epcot, you know. The concept is an active research facility. We've got sea thing. Oh, we got a pump, coral. More coral. More coral. And even more coral, right?
Yeah, we have some jellies. That's the last part of this specifically.
Okay.
Have any questions?
So the jellies, are these the jellies that eventually wind up downstairs, or? Okay. So how long do they live? Do you have to like continually replace the ones downstairs, or? Okay.
Yeah, they have a, that sounds sad if I say it like that, but they do have a shelf life technically.
They have a shelf life.
Our jellies, or jellies in general, live for about a year.
Okay.
At least the ones we have here live a year lifespan, even out in the wild.
And these are the ones that are in the Deep exhibit downstairs, right?
They're cultivated here, and eventually they do get moved downstairs with these things.
What? So what other, are you doing any research for like USDA or stuff like that here, or no, they're not really doing any?
I think the research we're doing is with UN and Seacorps, and it's primarily about how corals react to life in aquariums and how to best
So moving corals from coral reefs to aquariums and stuff like that. So that's just a very loud pump, or is it doing something specifically?
It's a calcifier.
Oh, okay.
So it gives the calcium to
So it's running the water through the calcium there, and it's calcifying it.
Yeah.
And those that giant TV screen that's way too big. What's that showing you?
So that is life support. That is every basin or water.
So you're running life support for the entire museum up here?
Yeah.
So the whole Oculus and all that stuff,
I'll run through it.
which we will see later. So what this, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is like your main life support center for making sure that all the water, because there's so much water in this museum, you're checking all the water levels, you've got sensors everywhere and stuff like that? And if something weird goes on, they'll light up and make alarms and fun stuff like that? If a pump goes down or something like that? Oh, okay, very cool. So, and this is telling you water temperatures, okay. We just got off a cruise ship. And the water's,
It's pretty warm up here. It's been cooling down a little bit, but it is still pretty warm.
well, and the West Coast needs some cooler water temperatures in the next few days. That's all we can say right there. Thank you, ladies. So that is, that's the place that used to be the operations. That's why I've never been there before, because that used to be closed. That used to actually, I mean, it still is, Kirsten. That's where they do all the operations for the tanks. And you're going, what tanks, right? Because you haven't seen any tanks so far, have you?
Tanks.
What?
I hear there's a deep exhibit.
You see this right here? Let's get a shot of it from above. This right there is the where they do the dolphin show. There. Guys, Okay. There's no dolphin show. That's Miami Aquarium. But that is the top of the tank. So what they did is, Kirsten used to work for Disney, and she's very familiar with the living seas, right? In the state of Florida, this is the number 2 size tank. Okay. So most of the tanks that you're going to see are connected to this big tank, and this is where, with the algae growth and the light is and stuff like that, it's actually exposed. It's not fake like the living seas. So the idea is you start at the top and you go down. When you go from the bottom to the top, it don't make sense. So we're going to start at the top. We're going to work our way down through the aquarium, through the Florida estuary. See some alligators. Going to see your favorite thing. What's your favorite thing? Birds. So we're going to see some birds. We're going to see some alligators, and we're going to see those jellyfish where they are before they die. Wow, this got morbid real quick. So we're now here at the top of the tank. You're definitely going to see the tank from the inside quite a bit more, but you have to kind of look through the water. I don't have a polarizing filter, but you'll see there's manta rays, there's sharks. This is the top of the Oculus, which you'll see the Oculus. You can see, I hope you can see the manta rays coming by. Oh yeah, you definitely can. Polarizers are generally need to see through water, but you'll see manta rays, you'll see sharks, and we'll definitely see them from the inside. And again, cruise ships right there. But every Florida museum is going to have kind of an estuary exhibit of sorts. And this is the estuary. Oh, that fish just went up and went down. This is the estuary exhibit of sorts. Estuaries are mainly what we call the wetlands in Florida. And we can kind of walk around, see the corals, see everything. These are the kind of things that we learned when we were up in the Marine Life Center about 5 minutes ago based on time. We were up in the Marine Life Center and we were learning about that. And what's also cool here, if you want to, you can actually touch a stingray. So let's take a look at the stingray. So here's a stingray pool right here. It's over, and then you can touch on the top. There we go. No fast movements. Let's see if we can get one to come over. They don't let us have food here to feed the stingrays, but for some reason they may want to be touched. No? Oh, there's one. Here we go. Touch this. Oh, he's a little slimy. Oh, but then they also have, let me wash my hands at the magic hand washing station real quick. They also have an aviary here. So, again, get that stingray gunk off your hands. Kirsten, you coming into the aviary? Yeah. I'm gonna grab a card. I was chatting with someone. Thank you. So let's go in the aviary. They got some birds here. Kirsten likes birds. They've even got the liquid oxygen. Well, compressed oxygen going in. And there, birds and fish and birds. And what's cool is we've got, please do not touch water or animals. This is kind of a Florida ecosystem right here. And you can see inside of it. Now, the ecosystem with that big tank over there that we saw, that's more of a ocean ecosystem. But this is like, let's say you're not from Florida. You got to fly back. The whole goal, sometimes people from Florida are going to come here, but a lot of people are not from Florida that are going to come here. So, you're going to get back on the airplane and you're going to go to Minnesota, or, we just got off a Carnival ship, so you're going to go to Cleveland, because John Held says everybody on the Carnival ship that's not from Florida is from Cleveland. You can get an idea of the Florida ecosystem. This is similar to what you find in the Everglades and other estuaries where manatees and things like that are. Now, unfortunately, this museum does not have any manatees, and it just has a giant bird that just likes walking around. Now, Kirsten, trivia question. You know birds really well. Do you know what type of bird that is?
That looks like a spoonbill something, and an ibis walking by.
So that spoonbill something. Do you know where it gets its pink color from?
Shrimp?
Yes, krill and brine shrimp is where they get their pink color from. We got a cat fight with birds going on. But yeah, so this is an idea on the Florida estuary. And then if we leave the estuary, let's leave the estuary a little bit. They've got a whole bunch of different other animals, reptiles and things like that you would actually see around the state of Florida. So let's go through here. So you're kind of getting a zoo and a museum and a movie theater and all of that all at once. We got a milk snake. Milk snakes are fine. Corn snakes are dangerous. Red touches black, friend of Jack. Red touches yellow. Goodbye, fellow. Right? Isn't that this? It's a corn snake term. I think we're looking at an empty container here.
There's a snake back
Where? Oh, there's a snake. Wait. Oh, he's black. Couldn't really see him.
Eastern indigo snake.
He's an eastern indigo snake, and I think we've got one more different type on this floor of and oh, look, there's a turtle. It's a snapping. Bah! He bit me. No, he didn't. I think we got some gators here. I don't remember if we got gators here. Well, yeah, there's the gator. I was like, I don't remember if we got gators. See him hanging out back there? I might be able to zoom you in via feet. That's a baby gator.
Big lizard.
It looks like a big lizard. I like me some gator nuggets. But you'd have to go further up in the state to Florida's oldest theme park, which a lot of people don't know. Kirsten, what's Florida's oldest theme park?
Is it Cypress Gardens?
No, older than Cypress Gardens is Gatorland.
Oh.
Gatorland is Florida's oldest theme park. Now, Cypress Gardens didn't count. Here's the problem. Cypress Gardens is Florida's oldest theme park now that it's decided it's a theme park, and now it's Legoland and all that kind of stuff. But it wasn't a theme park when it started. Gatorland always started as a theme park, and Gatorland opened like 6 or 7 years before Disney World. So, looking around a little bit more up here, and again, you can see we get closer to the cruise ships. But you know, it's been a little bit since we've had some air conditioning, so let's jump over to an interactive kids exhibit that's actually got some air conditioning. Now, if you got youngins, young ones, young kids, people that are normally in the kids program on the cruise ship, they might actually like this area because it's got some cool interactive kids things. Kirsten, why does Richie like this area though?
Because it's air conditioned.
Ah, she's learning. Yes. I mean, I'm wearing an air conditioning, which, again, I'm not one that ever says like and subscribe. Oh, Rosette Spoonbill. Yeah, I'm wearing an air conditioning. Review of my wearable air conditioning coming soon. But let's go ahead. You can learn about the tides here and stuff like that, but this don't have the air conditioning. Where the air conditioning is it's in this interactive exhibit called the River of Grass. So it talks about Florida's Everglades. There's another museum around here called the Museum of Discovery and Science. Well, it's in Fort Lauderdale, not in Miami, that has a whole virtual airboat ride and everything like that. But this teaches you all about the Everglades in this cool projected experience. So you can learn all about the Everglades here in this projected experience. The walls are projected. There's interactivity, but most of all here, yeah. Oh wait, where was it? Oh, that felt good. Oh, that's air conditioning. I'm gonna get my. So we are on level 4. We've got level 3, level 2, level 1, and then you know what time it is? It's pizza time. We'll talk about the pizza when we make it there. So our next exhibit here is kind of a permanent exhibit. Now we saw mummies earlier. I didn't want to, dead human remains. You don't take pictures there. But this is called Feathers to the Stars, and it's kind of inspired. You've been to the Air and Space Museum in DC? You ever been there?
I think I was there in like 6th grade.
Yeah, I definitely. If I went as a kid to all the Smithsonian's, and it's a whole different appreciation going as an adult. And what's cool is this was built right around the time that SpaceX was taking off and everything like that. This is kind of a more modern take on flight, kind of a more modern take on the Air and Space Museum. Again, not as big, and it's just a small section of the museum, but it's called Feathers to the Stars, and it's all about flight. Now, from like dinosaurs that I bet you didn't, but Kirsten knows this. Dinosaurs. What are the closest relatives that exist nowadays to dinosaurs?
Is it birds?
It is birds, because many dinosaurs flew. Actually most dinosaurs had feathers. You can see right here, that is a gigantic feathered dinosaur. Here is some actual representations of some of Da Vinci's flying machines. There's a giant helicopter. There's actually models here from SpaceX, models here of all kinds of different planes, trains, not trains, planes, helicopters. I think one of the most unique models here, though, I'll end with this. I want you to kind of explore this yourself. There's a lot of hands-on exhibits. You can launch a rocket ship and do all those other things like that. But again, one of my favorite models here, gotta find it, is actually provided to this museum from SpaceX. Here we go, here it is. This is one of the original models for the Falcon rocket from SpaceX, which was really cool. This is the Falcon 9, which if you are in Florida, when this museum launched, when this museum opened, the Falcon 9 was kind of a new thing. But now the Falcon 9's launched like 3 times a week, putting Starlink satellites in orbit, and that's why cruise ship internet has gotten so much better as well. So that's like one of the original Falcon 9 models that's here. And I think that's really cool. Donated, you can see right here, donated by SpaceX from Hawthorne, California, right there, at the flight section of the museum. The rest of what we're going to look at after this is mainly going to be fish and stuff. So join along with this giant dinosaur behind me as we take a look at some fish and some other things in this museum. So we're right now underneath where we were before. You remember where we saw the birds and stuff like that outside and the reptiles? This is actually the bottom side of that. Now, as you go deeper in this museum, that's why I highly recommend, if you're going to come here, you start at the top and you work your way down, because as you go deeper, so does the environment around you. You see, this is the top of another tank. We were just out on top of that tank, and now instead of being on top of that tank, we are under that tank, and we can see the fish kind of going around and everything right there. So we went from the top to under, and then they have this set up. Again, nobody really explains this. It's about diving. It's about a submersion. So we're going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into it. Remember that big place where the sharks were, where the manta rays were, where all that stuff was? Well, this is one level down from there. You'll see, we've actually got, you might recognize the roof here. From that was the circular roof where we were up top, but we've got sharks, we've got stingrays, we've got all that kind of swimming around right there, right in front of us. And then, you know, much like things in a lot of Kirsten, much like things in a lot of people's lives, you know, when you're not satisfied enough, what do you always ask someone to do? Go home deeper. Home. Glad she was shadowed out for that response. So we are going to go deeper, and we are going to go into the deep. So let us take a trek down some stairs to the deep. So this is, remember we saw the jellyfish about 10 minutes ago in YouTube time. Also, as a note, this museum, most of the people don't speak English here. I'm not saying the employees, I'm saying the people who visit here. So everything is both in English and in Spanish. So we have the deep, or Lo Hondo, which I expect Hondo Anaka to be here, and then to be Smuggler's Run, because that's the only Lo Hondo that I know. But they have some really cool stuff. This museum was built when tech was kind of really taking off. Unfortunately, it's kind of dark, so it's hard to see. But this is actually an interactive exhibit with schools of fish, and the schools of fish will follow you. And here are the jellyfish we talked about earlier. So you'll see, we got some jellies right there. And there's our jellyfish. Some baby jellyfish. And it all opens up to kind of the most famous part of this museum is called the Oculus. What this is what all the people who post to Instagram and stuff do. This right here is the Oculus. This is the exact bottom of that giant pool. And what's cool is you'll see sharks, you'll see schools of fish. Look at that. And it's happening, we're just going deeper and deeper into that pool. That's not a screen, that's actually real. What I mean by that's not a screen, that's actually real, that's an actual pool of thousands of fish right there. So you got a pool of thousands of different fish. You've got the manta rays. We've just continually gone deeper and deeper and deeper. And you can actually kind of be, oh, there's a shark. Yep. you got sharks, you got rays. I do think a lot of the stuff here is actually better than a lot of what you'll get at the Miami Aquarium and things like that. But what we're gonna do is we are gonna go ahead and we're gonna head out now from the museum. I've left some of the museum a mystery for you. So I've left some of the museum a mystery for everyone. You know, I'm not showing them everything. There's some things they'll have to come see on their own. I'm getting hungry. I don't know about you.
I'm getting hungry.
So do you like pizza?
I love pizza.
Do you like I go, do you like pizza? Girl looks at me and goes, I love Pizza Hut. And I'm not gonna lie. I love Pizza Hut too. I like their breadsticks. I like their sauce. But I'm not taking you to Pizza Hut on this tour. We're gonna go to a place called Mr. 01. Let's walk for a minute. Mr. 01 is actually, it's called Mr. 01 Extraordinary Pizza. And what Mr. 01 is Mr. 01 is a guy who came to the US from Italy, and he had an extraordinary visa that was granted to him that allowed him to actually come here, move here, just to make his pizza. This is actually really cool. Watch this. See, it'll clear. It's actually a screen. There, I'll show you. So it's actually a screen, and the artifact is behind the screen. So it's a clear LCD screen. It should clear out in a minute. Swells. Oh, yeah, you see. You can kind of see the actual artifact in there. There you go. Hey, look at that. Kind of cool. Those are the things you can definitely come here, look at your own. But Mr. 01 was given a visa specifically to come to the U.S. and make the pizza. And it's one of the few 01 visas that's ever been granted for food. They're generally granted for tech and other stuff like that. This is one of the few 01 visas that's ever been granted for someone to come in the U.S., stay, work, and open a food business. It's all over South Florida right now, but the original location is down in Brickell. And we're not going to take an Uber, we're not going to take a taxi, we're not taking a car to get there. We're going to take a slightly different mode of transportation to get to Mr. 01. So I will see you when we get to that mode of transportation, because I want to talk about it, because it's really kind of cool and really kind of unique. All right, so you may ask, how are we going to get over there? Well, we are getting on something called the Metro. This is the Metro Mover. The Metro Mover is free. No, the Metro Mover is free. There is no fare or anything like that. And it'll take you all the way around downtown Miami. In my opinion, super safe to use on the weekends. During the week, a little busy, a little sketchy, not gonna lie. More drugs on board this train and stuff like that. I'll be honest with you, you should feel real safe because they do have their own transit security here. So, look, Kirsten, that's not on every train. We just got incredibly lucky. But this is actually the largest, you're not gonna believe this, the largest fully automated transit system in the United States. Right here. It's like 14, 15 miles. There's not a single driver. These are all remotely operated vehicles, and they're the size of like a large van or a small bus, and they run on these rails right here all through downtown Miami. And Kirsten, you know me, this train's not actually going the exact way we want, but there's one more stop and then the train turns around. So why are we really here right now?
Just to ride it?
Try again.
Try it out. Oh, air conditioning.
There we go. She understands. It's either stand out on the hot platform or come in the train that we know is going to turn around and come right back to where we were. So, I mean, this is the same train that's going to pick us up in a minute. So, why not come on for air conditioning, right? So, we're going to ride it all the way around, full loop. And we're going to ride to where we need to go, and then we're going to go get some
pizza.
Well, the best Italian-made pizza in the U.S., and you're going to have to decide for a better topping rather than just cheese. Do you like multiple different types of cheeses?
Yeah.
Like gorgonzola, fortuna, puta. Yeah? Yeah, so we're going to have multiple different types of cheeses, and there are a couple seats on this, so if you do need to sit down, like right now, until we see some people that want to sit down, we should take those seats. And you take that seat. And this is the train track. And here's what it is. But again, these are completely free. They're free during the week, but again, you have a lot more traffic and there are sketchier characters here. that's just the nice way to say it. On the weekend, it's filled with all kinds of people that are going to Bay. This will take you to Bayside. If you want to go to Bayside, this will take you all over the Miami area for free. So let's just continue our journey. Google Maps does have this system involved, so if you're wondering where you've got to get off, just ask Google Maps. I'll give you the station, because we got on right outside of the museum, and we are going to be riding this all the way to the 10th Street Promenade, which is where Mr. 01 is. Then we're going to ride it back to the museum, and then we're going to transfer over to the Metro Rail to get to the airport. So we just passed the Government Center, which is where you want to go to take the Metro Rail to the airport later. It's $2.50 per person to take the Metro Rail from Government Center directly to Miami International Airport. Why I'm telling you about this right now is we're running perfectly on schedule, but my traveling companion may need to head home a little bit earlier than she thought she would need to. So we're probably just going to wind up going back to the Frost Museum and taking an Uber to the airport, which is about a $11 or so Uber. So I'm just kind of giving you the metrics you can take for $2.50 a person. You can take the Metro Rail from the Government Center station, which we're just leaving right here. You can take the Metro Rail all the way to the Miami International Airport. And this is actually good public transit that kind of really connects everything. Our train did get slightly busier as we're headed to where we need to head to. But overall, still not too bad. We're still on our way to Mr. 01. We're going to have some extraordinary pizza. Talk a little bit more about the pizza and the pizza we get. Do you like Nutella? Are you a fan of Nutella? They have a Nutella pizza. So good. You get a little one just for dessert. It's got Nutella. It's got powdered sugar. It's so good. But I'll see you at Mr. 01. We went from the museum, has a station literally right outside, and we are traveling to the station called the 10th Street Promenade. We're just leaving 3rd Street, so we have to go 3rd Street, Riverwalk, 5th Street, 8th Street, and then we're at the 10th Street Promenade, and it is a 2-minute walk from the 10th Street Promenade to Mr. 01 Extraordinary Pizza. And trust me, it truly is extraordinary. All right, so we just got off the Metro Mover. Kirsten, it was nice at first, then it got a little too crowded, didn't it, in the Metro Mover? We just got off the Metro Mover, and we are at Mr. 01. Specifically, I'm going to give you the address. This is the easiest Mr. 01 to get to. It is Mr. 01 in the 900 South Miami Avenue, Suite 130. I am going to have addresses and stuff of everything linked below, as well as some places that we will not make it to. We were going to go maybe play some mini golf and stuff like that, but time was not on our side. So we're going to go to Mr. 01, and we're going to go back to the Frost Museum, and we're going to decide how we're getting to the rental car place at the airport. So we're going to go enjoy some Mr. 01. Once we order, I'll take you along on the ride a little bit. But Mr. 01 Extraordinary Pizza, in my opinion, the best pizza in the United States, but people gonna fight me on that. So I don't want to make that a definite statement. So our pizza's here. It's called a Star Alessandro. Kirsten, can you pull the ingredients and you can give the ingredients in a second? It's called the Star Alessandro. It's like no pizza you've ever seen before. It's beautiful. I mean, look at this pizza.
It's ricotta.
Hold on.
It's ricotta, mozzarella, ham, fresh tomatoes, roasted corn, black pepper, white truffle oil, and basil.
And it's like, look at that pizza, Kirsten. Have you seen a pizza like that before? It's a pretty pizza. It's a very pretty pizza. Oh God, can you smell the truffle oil coming off? Oh, yeah, they know how to do it. And you know what? Honestly, look, we're in Miami, all right? At the museum, 2 Gatorades cost us half the price of this pizza. So, I mean, this is a $20 pizza. You're just not going to find this anywhere else at this value. And it's called a Star Pizza. It's called Star Alessandro. They have 5 different Star pizzas you can get here. Plus, we're going to get a Nutella pizza after this. So, we'll taste it. We'll let you know how it is before the Nutella pizza comes out. This is the Star Pizza over at Mr. Mr. 01 Extraordinary Pizza, which was actually done with an 01 Extraordinary Visa. That's how he originally got here, and there's about 8 of these throughout Miami now. We just finished our main pizza. We have dessert pizza on the way, but I really love Mr. 01. I think it's really unique, especially the star pizzas are super different, super unique. Let's get Kirsten's view. What do you think of the pizza?
I thought it was really special, and I really like the smell of the truffle oil. I'm not used to seeing corn on pizza, but it worked, and it was beautiful.
Okay, let's pan down. Uh-oh. That looks like Nutella, doesn't it?
Yes, and it smells amazing.
I'm going to take that. You can take a bite on camera. Come on. I've eaten on camera so much this trip.
It's thin crust, delicious, not too much Nutella, just enough.
So we are going to head back now to the Frost Museum, and then we'll be on our way with an Uber to the airport, finishing our day. And I'll let you know what time we get to the airport, because that's kind of relevant to see what time flight you can have to make this all work. We're doing this in real time. It is right now 1:25 p.m. We were in a bit of a rush before, but this is actually the Metro Mover. This is the 10th Street Promenade Station, and again, like I said, it's free. There's these gates here just to count the number of people that go in or out. This is going to take us back. Let's ride on up, and we'll talk about where we're going. Because we didn't look at the map. I've done a lot of transit stuff before. I've done a review on the Las Vegas monorail and some other stuff like that, but this is actually a really good transit network. I know that's rare for someone to say good public transit network in the United States, but this is actually a really good transit network, and the loops run in both directions. So they run clockwise or counterclockwise. So let's go up. We're just going to see. We're leaving Mr. 01 just to get an idea what direction we're going and how many stops we have. We get back to the museum station. So the next train is coming on the left. See where we're at to get to the museum station. We got a map. Actually, the problem is right now we're on the Brickell loop, and being on the Brickell loop, in theory, we have to change trains. But in reality, we don't have to change trains. So we'll see where we are. We've got to get from 10th Street Promenade, where it says you are here. We're going to go to Brickell City Center, 5th Street, then Knight Center, Bayfront Park, 1st Street, College Bayside, and then we're going to be at the Museum Park, which has the Perez Art Museum and the Philip and Patricia Frost Museum of Science. That should be about a 10-12 minute ride, and I think we're going to Uber to the airport from there. What do you think of these Metro Movers? They're pretty cool, right?
Yeah, they're pretty cute. They're like just big people movers. I think Walt Disney would like them.
Yeah, they're kind of like the People Mover at Disney. And they're air conditioned. That's what makes it even better. Let me just show you. One of them just came, and I think this is the way we got to go. Yeah. It doesn't matter either. Yeah, there's only one way it can go. But these are little like People Movers. People Movers with air conditions. It's doing the full loop. This is not normal during the week for it to do during the weekend. It's normal. During the week, they're going to have multiple different loops running. But we're going to take a ride back to the Frost Science Center, and we'll take it from there. You see there's a train going the other way too. Yeah, they are. I do agree, Kirsten. I do think Walt Disney would be pretty impressed with these things, wouldn't he?
Yeah, this is what he wanted with
It's
Epcot.
the magic skyway in the sky, right? Wait, that's what the People Mover is. The magic highway in the sky. While we are headed back on the Metro Mover, I do want to talk about the Metro Rail. So the Metro Rail, which you can just take the Metro Mover to Government Station, and you take the Metro Rail. There's two different lines. There's one line that'll run directly to the airport. When Kirsten took it over on last week, Saturday, she had to transfer lines. But basically, every 3 trains, there's one that does the airport directly from that station. But sometimes you do have to transfer line. That is $2.50, a lot cheaper than an Uber. You don't have to leave a tip. But yeah, if you're carrying a lot of bags and stuff, maybe you just want to take the Uber from the museum. But that's $2.50. What you do is if you have Apple Pay on your phone or your watch or anything like that, you can just tap it. There's a ticket. Did you buy a ticket or you just Apple Paid?
I bought a ticket.
So Kirsten went to a machine, you bought a ticket and all that, but you can actually, you have Apple Pay set up on your phone, I assume, right?
I do.
Yeah, so you can actually just Apple Pay, and Apple Pay will let you right into those gates for the $2.50. The only reason you'd want a ticket is because it also includes transfers, but that doesn't really mean anything if you're just taking a single train somewhere. And you'll notice now that we're not in the back of downtown Miami anymore, we now have an empty train again. And since we're doing a full loop, you'll see, hey, look what we can see again. There's something on the horizon. Wait, Kirsten, can you guess what's on the horizon right there? It's the horizon.
Yes.
What's on the horizon?
All our fun
No.
stuff.
No, it's the horizon is on. God, it's on the horizon line, and it's also the horizon. So I was playing with it, you know. But yeah, you can see this is actually, we're coming up on Bayfront Park, where the giant Ferris wheel is and everything like that. Actually, yeah, we're gonna pass Bayfront Park because I think that last stop was Bayfront Park, and we're headed to Bayside right now. We're just gonna ride the interior corridors to Bayside here. Then we're gonna take that swing, and we'll be back to the museum in about 5 minutes time. We're gonna go grab our bags. Remember, it's kind of weird. I just want to give you a little etiquette tip. You don't tip them for holding your bags at a museum. It's not a hotel. It's not a tipping culture kind of thing. I tried to do it last time, but no. They're just holding your bags because they know they have a lot of people that are transiting in and out of the area. So
Good to know.
yeah, it's like I tried to tip them last time. And they're like, no. It's like, I mean, your mileage may vary. But we're going to go pick up our bags. We'll talk about the day real quick in our Uber ride to the airport. But if you don't want to ride an Uber, Metro Rail is a great option. Take the Metro Mover that we're on right now and the loop to Government Center. And you can jump right on the Metro Rail directly to the Miami International Airport. If you're going to Fort Lauderdale, well, I got another tour for you. It's my South Florida tour. This is my downtown Miami tour. I'll link that at the end of this video. You know, getting off of the Metro Mover, I was telling Kirsten, I said, I live in South Florida. I generally live nowhere near what anybody would consider to be downtown Miami. I come to downtown Miami like twice a year, maybe 3 times if I got jury duty. This is like my 3rd time in actual downtown Miami. That wasn't like, I mean, technically it was coupled with to get on or off a cruise ship, but I didn't show you the relevance or the closeness of the entrance. That is behind me. That's the Metro Mover station. We're going out, and this is Frost Science. So under construction. One? No. So we just walk right here. We're gonna go forward. This is the Museum Park Metro Mover station. It's kind of the other side. This is where we got on. We didn't show you this earlier because a train had just gotten in. This is that side of the track where the trains don't come super often. You got your Uber pickup and drop off right there, which is where we'll be in a bit. But just to show you how ridiculously close you are to the actual thing, there is the actual entrance to the Metro Mover, and right over here is the actual Frost Science building. So get yourself dropped off on an Uber right there. Leave your bags like we did. They're picking up what this line is right here, right now. You're gonna laugh, it's for camp. They're picking up the kids from camp because they do a summer camp here. So they're picking up all the kids from camp. We're gonna go on up. We're gonna pick up our bags and we'll be on our way to the Miami International Airport. I'll let you know exactly what time we got there. Just timeline, we started getting our butt off the ship about 8:30 a.m. Everything you've seen has been real time. It is right now 2 p.m. So, I mean, if you're flying domestically, okay, we're not there yet, you probably make sure your flight's after like 5 if you're gonna do this whole tour. You could skip the pizza, but in my opinion, you'd be an idiot if you skip the pizza. So back up to Frost to grab our bags, and we shall continue our day from here. So it is 2:24 p.m. We are at the car rental terminal at the Miami International Airport. Kirsten will not be flying today. She's actually driving back up north in the state of Florida, so it wasn't really worth flying. So she's going to get her rental car. I think we're gonna wrap it up right here.
And it's
And it's
a pretty good deal.
it's a pretty good deal. How good a deal?
Like $50.
Okay, and it was like, and so you didn't have to park at the port. That's the important thing.
Exactly.
And what was I gonna say? You don't have to park in the port. You don't have to have miles on your car. You don't have to worry about anything like that. So as long as you have a flight after about 4, today is perfectly doable. That was what to do before you get to the airport on your own in the port of Miami. And this is Richard and Kirsten reminding you that when you wear no pants, there's only one thing you got left to lose. And what is that, Kirsten?
Your shirt.
All right, have a great one. We have no hands, we have luggage. Bye.